All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Bakemonogatari, Episode 3. Okay, so this episode starts off and Senjugahara's problems have been dealt with.
Right.
Which is good.
So, what's next?
Yeah. Araragi was woken up by sisters, it looked like.
Yes.
If anything, we'll probably get some more focus on him specifically. Maybe get a little bit of context as to what we've been introduced to thus far with regards to the whole vampire thing.
Who all the characters are, and...
I mean, yeah, we know who some of the characters are.
Right.
We know about Oshino, we know about Shinobu.
Right.
We know about the student, was it student council girl?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as far as an overarching plot, or just potentially what kind of episodic structure they'll go with, we'll just have to find out here. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, we're gonna start the episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Nice cowlick there, buddy. Mother's Day. Okay.
All right.
It's a nice bike.
Okay.
Just like every other episode.
Yeah.
You're just in an environment by yourself.
That could be because there's no extras in this show.
Right, exactly. Hark.
Wait a minute. This is different.
What the heck?
Okay.
Triplets? I'm so confused.
So I get the feeling this is the next character that, like, has some issue that needs to be helped out.
But why are there a million clones of them?
I don't know. I gotta say, though, I love this opening sequence.
Yes, this is amazing.
Okay.
This feels like I should be watching this in 75% speed for it actually to make sense, but we're watching it 150% because why not? Oh. Oh, dang. Yeah, he's not doing good inside. Unless this is the new person's internal feelings.
Sure.
Wait. Senjugahara, hello. Oh, were you just saying hello? Didn't sound like hello.
Okay. We just lack funding.
Yes. I think you were wearing no clothes back then.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
Like, oh, I'm flattered. Right, right.
Oh.
Ah, that is a different nuance. Sure. Hmm. Your turf?
Oh.
What are you, a mob boss? Did the Fire Nation attack? Oh. Hmm. Just time moves too quickly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I know that feel. While sitting next to you. Aw. You're not alone, buddy.
That's a very nice necklace you have there.
Right? It has to be the Fire Nation. Look, the comet arrived.
I know. I was gonna say,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna staple your other cheek.
Wow, way to kill the moment, Araragi. You know?
Yeah.
As a friend. Oh, someone dear. Oh, my.
He says as he's leaning away from
Right.
her.
Oh. What was that paradigm shift? Because you're technically a friend, right? The little boing. This isn't a neck lean. This is a full body lean.
Yeah,
World consequence? Wow. Defeat the Saiyans by coming to Earth.
like neck tilts.
Right? He's like, oh!
She immediately goes to the fetishy stuff.
Oh my gosh!
He says as he leans down to try and get a look at her underwear.
Yep, yep. I'll take that. I'll take that.
That sounds like two things.
Yeah. Nothing sexual. All right. All right. You liar.
The little hair thing.
Yep. And it's down.
Yeah.
Ah. Yeah, how do you know that? Right. Ha! Wait, Bloomer, how old are you? Oh, all right. There's the possibility that everyone's basically like, you know, immortal vampires or something like that. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's a half vampire or ex-vampire,
right?
So
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Wait, how did you know I have multiple sisters? What, when, where, and how?
What? Okay.
Aww. That's why he's out here alone. Ah! Oh. Okay. He's the one with the problem.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the solution is complex, but the problem isn't. Hey, I was able to do something about your weightlessness as a human being.
She keeps restating it.
Yep. What I like about this is that the banter back and forth, you know, in a certain context is nonsensical, but also if you think about translating what young teenagers say from kind of an older perspective, their banter back and forth probably would sound like nonsense to us as well, you know?
Oh.
But they talk from such an intelligent perspective at certain points that it's like we can't treat them as, you know, teenagers, essentially, so... Like their verbiage. Okay.
Indeed, that kind of lameness.
Wow. Wow.
That shot of
face.
Senjikahara, though. Yeah, that face.
Oh my gosh. Wow. With this logic. Oh. 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 Wow. Wow.
Yes.
No, she's basically saying I'll be with you for forever.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? So is her heart beating?
I think so.
No, she's trying to help you with something so that they can be on equal footing as
Right.
friends.
Yeah, yeah.
And you...
Jackpot.
There it is! There it is!
I mean, not
I
me,
accept. Oh, wow. You are small, Araragi.
Virginity protected.
Yes. Actual blush. Yeah, yeah.
So,
okay. This is the girl from the opening.
well, yeah.
In Flames. By the Fire Nation, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm going to try again. She's ignoring you.
Rejected with a neck tilt.
Yep. Oh my gosh. What the heck? Yeah, me neither!
This doesn't make sense.
Not guilty, guilty, not guilty. Did you see that on the map thing there? Yeah!
Right.
Huh?
Yeah.
Well said!
Mm-hmm.
I kick him in the balls.
Mm-hmm.
Ha! Get wrecked. Cool.
Mm.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm the only man in this entire town.
See, those are the guilty, not guilty things.
Yeah.
So man-based. Ah! I told you my name! She dabbing? That's like
Not quite, but yeah.
It's like nearly a dab. It's nearly a dab. It's enough for me. Nice!
Oh, just a little bit too high.
Yep. Oh! Oh!
Congratulations. You managed to beat up a little girl.
Yeah. Yes, that is you. Yes. But it's okay. No one else exists in this city, so...
Right. Except for Senjukahara. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yep. Please do.
Guilty, guilty, guilty.
Yeah, I'm waiting for them all to switch to guilty, basically.
Some of them went blank there. Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I wonder why.
Black scenes, animation number none. Just...
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. We have crabs first, now we have snails.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. This show is weird, man.
It is very weird.
This show is weird. Like, I get now a little bit what they have as their style with the banter between Senjugahara and Araragi, but
this was definitely written on acid. Like, yeah. Well, hey, now we finally know what the Baka Opai 404 thing is.
Oh, I guess that is this, but that scene wasn't in it though, unless that was animated by Baka Opai.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Have that bit where he's all like flying towards her. You know?
Okay, but the faces this episode,
the faces were amazing.
Amazing. Like Senjugahara's little like.
They both did them. Though.
They both did them.
They both did them.
Yeah,
and they were hilarious.
They were absolutely amazing.
I thought the whole line of questions and interrogation format
was weird.
Was no. It made more sense this time actually than the previous episode. But yeah, it's still weird. Okay.
Hey everyone, so before we get into the actual discussion portion for this episode, I need to let you know, just in case you forgot or haven't heard the news yet, Battle Lines is available for pre-order. So it's up right now. The link is in the description. The signed copies, that option is only available for until February 2nd, Groundhog's Day. So get on that. But now onto the discussion. This episode is pretty crazy. Not a lot happened, but it was pretty crazy.
They're basically setting up this this new character and her potential problem being anthropomorphized by a snail instead of a crab, like with Senjugahara.
And I get the whole snail thing because she has the giant backpack, so she kind of looks like she could be a snail.
Yes, I get that, and also the idea of being lost, but not necessarily being lost because she doesn't know where she's going, but because maybe where she needs to get to is too difficult, or it's something that's it's moving away from her or something like that, so she just can't catch up to it. The banter bit between Araragi and Senjugahara
was quite good.
Is hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. The thing that I think made it make more sense here was there was a very obvious structure as to why they were both continuing to talk.
Right. Because before it's like, okay, wait, I'm clothed. All right, wait, now let's stop. I need to change clothes, for some reason, and then we'll keep talking about whatever.
Right. And she's basically trying to figure out what it is that he wants.
Right.
So she ends up in the sexual area because
I guess that's where her imagination goes.
Well, no, I think also that just like people in general all want sex. Like that's basically where everything comes down to.
And after all you have to do is watch that little hair thing on Araragi to
he's got an anti-human lie detector little like cowlick just right there on the back of his head.
Like it's like in Little Rascals what they would do with Alfalfa, but taken to a whole other level.
Oh, whole other level.
And I love it because it's like, I feel like every bit of his character is encapsulated in that little strand of hair. Like that is his entire personality right there. You can see all of it. And all the variations in between.
Yep. There's like the of like, wait, that's interesting, or there's the that boner, and then there's the like, I would love to find out at some point in the future that the hair thing is actually a part of the remnants of him being a vampire.
Right, and it has his like spiritual senses all concentrated in there.
Right, he's releasing
it's like some sort of radar tower.
Right, he's releasing his aura through that focused point that just happens to be the point which monks, shave their heads or something, but for him it's no, this is not that. This is my true my final chakra releasing energy or something like that. But that'd be hilarious. So Senjugahara, I gotta say, is definitely my favorite character in this whole thing here.
Same here.
The thing, though, about Senjugahara is that when she actually wants something, she's way more interesting than when she's just talking for the sake of talking.
Yes, absolutely.
And this is something that I did a couple times as a test growing up, was how long can you maintain not a conversation, but a monologue with keeping it around the same a general concept. So you like have an anchor point. How far can you swing the pendulum of crazy along just a stream of consciousness monologuing without losing the original point? It generally comes down to asking questions from different angles. So this form of writing is now actually starting to make sense in its own batch of crazy to me.
Sure.
Like here would be a way that you and I could do it, is that Jacob and I could go on discussing something ad infinitum if we had enough food and water and, you know, basically just enough physical capacity to do so.
It would turn into something very strange along the way if we were to have it go too long.
Absolutely. It would also get repetitive. There's a couple things that would end up being reiterated, but from different angles.
And one might say that not only would things be reiterated, but we might even start repeating ourselves. Yeah.
I like the minute you went into that, I saw like this devious smile start to creep up like in your mind's eye, like you hadn't even physically represented it yet, but I could see just in that moment that your delight would become manifest in the physical appearance of your face.
I live for the dad jokes.
Right, and I was just trying to do the same thing that you just did right there by reiterating the smile that's coming out there through your eyes rather than actually through your mouth. So
200 IQ.
Yes, there's a lot of weird ways I feel like you can have banter exist and create in some ways a weird form of chemistry between characters without them actually saying anything of value. Now, here's the weird thing though. We can't assume that they're saying nothing of value.
Right.
Because by the very nature of how this show has been presented to us, it's supposed to be one where we're going to have to pay attention a lot. And if we have to pay attention, that means that there's something to pay attention to.
Even though a lot of it doesn't make sense from a traditional perspective, you know, from a strictly non-linear perspective, it's more of a big ball of wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey. But because they actually pay attention to the details, then it can be kind of confusing because you don't know what's a red herring and what isn't. Yeah.
So all that being said, the show's cray, and the show's weird, and I gotta say I don't know if I like it, but I am entertained. If that makes sense. Like I don't know if I actually like this show yet, but I am definitely entertained.
Are you not entertained?
The thing about having a character that talks to another character that talks. Basically, they both just talk non-stop.
Right, like that's just the show.
That's just the show. What you need to have is something that separates the two of them in terms of the way that they talk, so that I actually don't feel like they're just one person talking to themselves.
And they do a pretty good job of that so far.
But I do think there is something, if we want to look at this a little deeper, there is something there. Senjugahara, I think, represents too much of someone that wants to talk to Araragi for no real reason, and I still keep coming back to the idea that this whole setting, the way this show is presented, makes it seem like this is someone, like you said, on acid. It's just someone having, not necessarily acid, I'm just saying that's our go-to phrase for this show is crazy, and the perceiver of this, basically the main character, is crazy as well. And this is all just happening in their head. This is all just, you know, some crazy, you know, just
this is the kind of show where if they wanted to at some point just say, and this was all a dream.
Or this is all a representation of, you know, Araragi's depression and loneliness.
Right, he's actually in a mental hospital somewhere, and he's dreamt up all of this stuff, and then they could go into a whole thing of how much of it is real versus how much of it isn't, where was the break-off point. And maybe that's why the watch order's important. But,
I think that the questioning reality thing just has to be reminded to you guys. I think that we're aware that that's something that's very possible. But
probably not, because
in the actual entertainment value side of things, I think they want us to actually go down the rabbit hole with them into this, you know, psychedelic mess of craziness. But they do keep reminding us that, I believe it's Araragi's transitions. They have these little transitions with rapid fire text, and they accelerate. And the text gets more and more depressing as they actually get into the rapid fire stuff. So what I was kind of trying to do was just unblinkingly look at, you know, the text, and if that was for the new character, that's kind of cool, because then it's saying, hey, we're getting a little bit of insight into the character before they're introduced.
And she did seem very manic.
She did seem manic, but the actual text wasn't about manicness. It was more about depression side of things.
All I noticed was that there was one where they had a frame with no words on it other than oven.
Yeah, that was the oven salt thing that they kept repeating between.
Yeah.
But before that, it seemed like
it had a whole bunch of other stuff that,
Yeah, it seemed like it would fit Araragi.
And that could be a really cool way of handling it, because he does definitely seem to have his own issues, and they were started to address them in this episode, even though they also brought in a new character that then they were saying, we're going to help her with her issues, whatever those are. So the fact they brought those two up at the same time could mean that this is like the next... Sure, absolutely. That's a good point, because, didn't make sense at all why Araragi was constantly going up to her.
Right.
But it could also just be a standpoint of basically the mini arc and then the overarching arc,
Sure.
So
the overarching arc is his problems and everyone else's problems.
And that could be a really cool way of doing it, because like if this is the kind of thing where it's just the one person who's literally the only guy in existence, no, Oshino exists, but
maybe
But if it's something where, a guy goes on a journey of helping a bunch of different girls solve their problems, right? That could get kind of dry, potentially. But if they do something where they're like, not only is it him helping them solve their problems, but by doing this, he's helping solve his own problems that maybe he's been deflecting from,
Right. You know what this seems like to me? We've been doing the whole Doki Doki Literature Club thing with the visual novel, whatever. This seems like a multiplayer visual novel where Senjukahara is the troll, basically making like all the random text questions and stuff, and then Araragi keeps having to respond to these questions being presented to him by the visual novel. That's actually just someone else who's live asking like ridiculous questions and stuff.
And of course, then brings all the meta stuff into it of Moe and Tsundere and the fetishes and all that stuff.
And the Saiyans coming to attack.
Right, exactly.
I noticed there was a kanji joke in here. And I don't get those because I don't speak Japanese.
Lost in translation.
See
Doki Doki.
Yeah. So that was fun. I get that this show is going to be going into topics of maybe certain forms of I would say fetishes. They've already been, this is like their third time repeating that. So if this is going to be a thing of where the main character just has a whole lot of, just screwed up aspects about him, and we're going to be revealing those as he meets basically like
all the different token tropes.
Yeah.
Well, and
that could get a little annoying,
right? But the one thing that I could see it not getting as annoying is the fact that Senjukahara seems almost like the in a way almost like the Mako character of this show, where basically she's the meta one. She's the one talking about like the blah blah blah. She's the one talking the most to the audience, kind of, or talking for the audience. And if they do that, then they could have all these tropes be in here and have them be addressed in a way that is not actually so that it doesn't actually feel like the tropes are getting entertained, more of just like, they're being brought up because we got to check this box, and we got to check this box, and we got to check this box, and all that. But I don't know.
I gotta say though, I feel like it's more of a thing where Senjukahara felt like her own character this episode, and despite the meta references, she made more sense.
Yes.
So I felt, if anything, she was more representative of her than the audience.
Okay, yeah.
And whatever she was representative of in the second episode, except for maybe the latter half where she started talking about her backstory, that was more nonsensical and meta maybe for me. But if you could point out like the specific things that you thought were more meta, audience specific perspective kind of commentary, then maybe I could be convinced. But
I think it's all the times that she mentions like Moe, or like in the first episode how she talked about like the I'm a tsundere type, or
gotcha. I was meaning in this episode.
In this episode she mentioned Moe at least like twice, and then
I think that was just in one like kind of segment of it though.
Right. It might have been, but yeah,
because she came at this part here to Araragi when he was alone, and he had been already kind of lamenting to himself about the whole situation, and then she suddenly just kind of conjures up into being as being there
when he didn't even realize, like he wasn't even intending to come here.
And she ends up having something that she wants to give him, yeah, I think that all that aids the whole this is all in his head theory. But also, it's something where she's actually coming there with an objective that correlates as to why she's there. Whereas when she was in her room and stuff, she's wanting help with the specific thing, but then she's also rejecting his help in specific areas.
Maybe that's just part of the baka, but like, you know.
Sure.
One of the things that I get the feeling.
More of the sun, you know?
Yeah. I could definitely see happening in this series is that we end up getting really salty because, like, say Senjigahara doesn't get like the amount of screen time that we want. Like, like because okay, if they introduce this character, right, and they were having and they even kind of brought it up this episode of great interaction between these two characters, right? We love Senjigahara, she's awesome, and they're bantering back and forth, and then suddenly new character, and suddenly Araragi's attention is completely, you know, stolen away from the conversation of what's, you know, happening right now, and then he keeps going over there, and Senjigahara's just getting more and more pissed. It's like, okay, you're going back? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And if that continues, I could see that being sort of like a representation of the audience potentially, where we have this character that is witty and fun, and we want to see more of them. But then there's constantly these new characters that are being brought up, and then it's like.
Also, that could be the I would say the commentary of like young boys who are essentially just kind of eyes just jumping over to next girl to next girl to next girl
to necklace to next girl.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, ends up necklace.
The thing that I just didn't get though was when they were going on the things or whatever, and he was like putting his face right near like her butt. Like, I was just like, okay, I mean, you know.
Wait, what don't you get about it?
Well, just that. Okay, not that he.
Not why he was doing it.
Not why he was doing it, but just the fact that that was happening, and there didn't seem to be any addressing of that while they're talking about like, hey, don't be a pervert, and all this stuff. You know, I was like,
well, I think she saw because she turns and she's got her whole neck tilt.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Being, like, you know, it's like an owl.
Yeah. This show is a little whack.
Yes.
Show's a little whack,
and that's probably that. I mean, that's its charm. Like I think
it's supposed to be its charm,
right? Exactly, because I have not seen anything like this.
Me neither, and that's why I'm entertained.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that things surprise me, but right now I think Senjigahara's meaning that she's starting to make sense either means that I'm going a little crazy, or that the show is actually going to make slight incremental changes towards making sense by the nature of the presentation, meaning that the show is intending to essentially cull anyone that isn't ready for some level of crazy by throwing too much crazy at you. And then that's also a part of the watch order, is that maybe this is the harder way to get into it, potentially. And it starts off with the most crazy right off the bat.
So then other people are like, wait, or maybe you start with the normal and then it progressively gets more and more crazy as you watch. You know?
Right. Yeah. And we're doing it the other way, which is you start with the crazy and then things start to make more sense, which is kind of you theoretically falling down the rabbit hole and accepting the crazy.
Entering the Matrix.
And you can't tell whether or not you're going crazy or the show's starting to make sense. So that's fun. That's good stuff. This is a crazy show. Looking forward to the next episode. If you want to see the next episode's reaction, though, right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. Any level support gets you access to our Discord where you can chat with us about stories or just whatever. And if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.